Hey, yo, what's up? It's your boy, sir, of the 2020 Podcast, LLC. Please say the LLC. And before you listen to this episode, I just got to let you know, I need you to stop what you're doing. Go to blkrenaissance.com, and I need you to shop for the culture. That's right. Anytime you use the promo code LLC20 at Black Renaissance Clothing's website, you will get 20% off your order. Off rip, no questions asked. So do me a favor and do it for the culture. Peace.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sade with Black on Black Rhymes. Step to the mic.
Mic check.
People always ask me where I get my confidence from, and I get it from inside. It's an inside thing, y'all. And when it comes to beautiful skin, I rock with Blendia by India, where her motto is, be confident in your skin. She has a variety of naturally made soaps to keep you smelling good, hair products for long, luscious, healthy hair, and even beard products for men. You know, we got to keep those struggle beards away. So visit BlendiaByIndia.com and use promo 2020skin to get 10% off your order. Thank you, Blendia by India, for being a sponsor of the 2020 Podcast, LLC. Please say the LLC.
Hey, this is Butter So Fly of Powerlines Poetry, here to let you know anytime I feel good, I have to look good, so you have to listen to me. Make sure you go to gurudesigns.com, use a 3 instead of an E. The website is great, so you can get something for yourself, and then she makes custom clothes for men too. And guess what? I got a promo code for you. Use 20/20 and it'll get you 15% off of any order $25 or more. You can't beat that. Go to gurudesigns.com.
The self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform.
Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest be coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a peek at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay silent just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can see us like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dope. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live, it's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy, sir, and I'm joined by my podcast cousin, J.R. J.Rio is in the building. What's good?
What up?
Hey, long time. All right, so to kind of sum up what we're talking about today, J.R. sent me a link to a wonderful podcast. I forgot the young lady's name. Her actual
Lovely
name.
T.
Lovely T, yes, because I want to. I almost call her Jada Fire's lookalike, and if you listen to the episodes, you know where I'm coming from with that.
Yes.
But Lovely T, I did a wonderful episode, an open discussion of sorts about Shenseea, Jamaican dancehall singer who had a controversial release, I should say, of a song called Lick. And it kind of opened up the floodgates of conversation regarding women's sexuality and what is deemed as inappropriate, and just kind of a clash of, I guess, ideologies. So, JR, I wanted to ask, what were your opinions? Did you watch the video from start to finish?
Personally, I did not. That song, it was released with Shenseea, or whatever her name is, with Megan Thee Stallion. And I saw snippets of it from Megan Thee Stallion because I follow her on Instagram. The moment I saw a random gigantic mouth in between a lady's legs, I was not here for it, and I wasn't interested on not even listening. Because as much as I like Megan Thee Stallion, in a way she's kind of been selling out in really weird ways. And Megan, I feel like if people actually pay attention to Megan, she does really underhanded, shady things. Um, so as much as I like her music, I've kind of just been noticing and peeping that. So I haven't been more like I've been a little bit more intentional when it comes to paying attention to what type of music that I download from her. And
Mhm.
not every song that she releases to me is not worth to download. Um, so yeah, the moment I saw those snippets, I was not interested to watch it because that was to me that was just it was too much. Like it was really unnecessarily raunchy to me, even with little snippets. Like it wasn't intriguing for me to watch.
I feel where you're coming from. I'm not even gonna lie. I was a little bit surprised by how far they went in certain shots. It was just blatant objectifying women. Um, and then from the business standpoint, I was trying to see why they would create a video like this.
Mm,
And someone said that I talked to about it was like when you have a song like WAP that came and kind of shook the ground, you can see how people want to create that again, kind of like pay homage to it, but at the same time, take it like turn the dial up just a little bit. And
right.
why I understand that at some points you just gotta be like, no, that's a little bit too much.
And to
Um,
me, I liked WAP more, the video at least, compared to Lick. Because to me, it wasn't really, it was pushing the boundaries, but not to the point of it was distasteful.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't think of it as that. The song is raunchy itself, but the music video was very appealing. There was somewhat of a story, and it was a cool dance number.
yeah.
Um, for me, with the Lick video, since I didn't watch it, I haven't seen anyone recreate any dance moves from that movie. I mean, music video yet. Because, literally after Megan Thee Stallion drops something, that literally within 12 hours, someone knows the dance routine and they make a whole challenge out of it. I haven't seen that
Mm.
yet, so I'm assuming there wasn't no real dance number. It was just raunchiness, a lot of bright colors. Um, I don't know.
You're right. There was no like choreography or anything like creative about it. I'm gonna be real with you. Even the color scheme felt like it was lifted from an old Nicki Minaj video
Okay.
or like a Doja Cat style of color scheme with these highly saturated colors and um, taking fruit and then turning in things like popsicles and stuff and sexualizing it. I
Right.
know Doja Cat did it first with the watermelon. If you remember the video where she she basically painted her ass to look like a watermelon, and yeah,
Okay. I
yeah,
haven't seen that one.
yeah.
But like that podcast that I sent you, a lot of people are saying like music videos aren't really worth seeing anymore. And I felt that
Mhm.
way probably like near the beginning of my college career when I was 2013, 2014. I think that was the last time I intentionally was watching music videos in the morning on my way to school type of vibes. Other than that, I don't really go out of my way for music videos like that unless you're like my real fave.
Mhm.
Other than that, I think there was a lady that on that podcast that said, "Look, like you kind of ruined the imagination that I had for that song, and then putting this weird music video to it, it kind of ruins it." But I feel that way with a lot of artists as of these last few years. I don't really care for music videos too much, but that's just my biased opinion.
Um, I, I'm with you. Like I think with us, and I know I'm a little bit older than you, but I grew up in the Hype Williams era, where every music video he touched was a story. It was a short film of sorts, and
Hmm.
you slowly got to see music get away from that. But and it felt like it phased out of genres. Like at first, rap music stopped doing it, and then R&B stopped doing it, and now it's just
I feel like
zoomer and
R&B
shot.
is barely existing right now.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah.
You're right. Um, and it's, I think part of it is the sex sale mindset, but also I personally think it has to do with everything meshing with other genres.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, like even with soul music, like there's trap soul that kind of dominated the airways for a little bit, where you had like your Miguel's, your Bryson Tillers. Like it wasn't a whole lot of, I don't know, I guess like neo soul style. And maybe I'm just being old, I don't know, but I'm not getting that feel good music
Yeah,
anymore.
not much. And I feel like you said, it's not a popular demand. Like for me, I don't know if you paid attention with Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic. I feel like a lot of people liked it because it reminded them of the soul feel that
Mhm.
we, I guess, old heads, quote unquote, miss. Um, but we're not that old. We just appreciate hearing lyrical, beautiful things compared to a quick little bop, which is what that podcast was also saying. Like, it's a lot of songs are not really memorable, and if they are, they're not going to be memorable for the next 10 plus years. They're just going to be a cute little thing, and then a new thing comes out, and then we pay attention to that. Um, and I can't remember what you were saying, but I also wanted to point out too, which is what was said in another podcast. Lovely T said that it's getting to the point that even the pop girls are competing with the rap girls. And
Mm.
I was saying that because you said it's a lot of meshing, and it's meshing to the point that pop girls and rap girls are looking like they're doing the same thing, looking and dressing the same and trying to compete to get to the top.
So, do you think we'll get to a point where people will start to differentiate themselves? Um, because I remember on that podcast they were saying like people, and this was coming from the young people, like the 20s. They were saying like they're so tired of this same sound, same style, same dull music, um, and they want to hear something with substance. But I do think of, and this is funny because the same people that say they want substance, I don't hear them talk about like your Rhapsodies of today. You know, like this, she consistently puts out great lyrical music, but she doesn't get that same industry push. Do you think that this is by design, that um, they're kind of forcing rap women and pop women to kind of compete, to kind of keep, you know, I guess the more lyrical, the more I don't want to say
Musically conscious.
yeah, I hate that word so much. I was trying to find another one, but yeah, like the more conscious is a way of trying to get them to submit to, you know, the norms of now.
Um, like the podcast was also saying, I feel like it depends on what the demand is. And I feel like people like you and I who appreciate the musically intentional people is because we were raised on certain values. And the young people as well in the podcast, they were raised on certain values that I'm tired of hearing you talking about your pussy. I'm tired of hearing you talking about your dick and how many women's been sucking on it and you've been fucking them from the back and blah blah blah. Like, I feel like it's because of how certain people are being raised. And again, this is my personal opinion, but I'm thinking that there's a lot of people that are my age. I'm 27. They're having kids around this time or even younger. And to me, people who have kids around this time, they don't know nothing about themselves yet. So I
Mm.
feel like they don't really have any serious values set right now. So whatever kids are listening to, um, it's going to come to be. So I feel like it's a little bit of that. And I feel like there is an agenda, because what was also said in the podcast that really tripped me out was this guy from New York. He came in and he was saying that the intention is to eventually, there's a word, to make it seem normal to talk about nakedness and sex and all this stuff to young children. So when they get older and devious adults start showing out, they're going to think that's normal.
Right.
Because the whole Me Too era, the phones are out and they're going to watch you and hold you accountable finally. This is their agenda of, it's a D word, desensitizing young people.
Okay.
Desensitizing young people to think that this is like a normal thing and people can talk about and be naked and whatever. But that was the gist of what I understood. Definitely listen to the podcast because I love listening to Lovely Tea because I would have never known this stuff. And it just opens your eyes. And if you are a conspiracy theorist person, I think you enjoy it. I'm low-key a conspiracy theorist. So so listening to it is really fun.
Cool. One of the questions I wanted to ask, and a recurring thing throughout that podcast, was they were asking like specifically for like Haitians and Jamaicans, because sexualizing or sexual freedom in women in that culture is kind of taboo. Well, it's not even kind of, it is taboo. As someone who has that background as well, like, I wanted to know from your perspective, is there like a conflict where, yes, you want to see, women be free to discuss it, but do you feel they took it too far? Or like, just considering you, like, where did that put you? Where did you fall?
So is your question about when people who are in like Islander or African
Yes.
raising, if it should be normalized to talk about sex? Is that what you're asking, or is that?
Well, no, specifically, it's what were your thoughts on it from that background? Because on my end, it's like, it's normalized, on my end, a Christian background from where I am is a little bit more lenient with stuff like that, because, I grew up seeing women, twerking down here, like, we were just talking about it in the documentary, where we have a whole culture with like Mardi Gras and like bounce music. So seeing a woman gyrate and shit like that is normal. We don't bat an eye at it. But from like an Islander background, it seems like a bigger taboo. So like, I guess I'm asking, what were your views from that standpoint?
Yeah. So my father's Nigerian, my mom is Black, from Florida. I was raised in a Christian household, and my mom was not about that life when it comes to seeing a bunch of twerking and all of that stuff. Even with my African side, I never really see them party or anything like that. Like, the most party like feels is just having a lot of food and having people over and chatting. So I'm more on the side of what the Islanders were saying, like talking about sex and being sexual was not much of a thing. I wish it could be more of a thing so we can, at least I can, look out for things, because I know I personally didn't take any like sex classes or anything in high school or whatever, so I wasn't really sure what to look out for. And my mother, who was raised in she was a Christian, and she made sure the house was a Christian household. She just described sex as a don't rush it / it's gross, something to not do. At least that's how I took it. Just, she made it seem like it's not a thing to rush into because it seemed really gross. And it was gross to the point that I actually had like a whole purity ring ceremony and everything at one point before I left for college, because I just truly believed that I wanted to wait till my husband came along. Then college happened, and that did not happen. But I waited for a long time, which is why I was saying it just depends on the values you set on your people. But yeah, I definitely didn't wait till my husband, and in a way, I'm kind of glad I did not, because I feel like once I started having sex, I just saw what the world really was. I feel like when you're still a virgin, you don't really see what is really happening. Like you're walking with a veil in a way. So for me, I just made sure whoever I gave my virginity to, I just wanted to make sure I trusted him, and I did. So yeah, that was a really long answer. Hopefully that answered the question.
It did. It did. I agree with you. When I went to college, I wasn't a virgin, but I wasn't like out there or nothing like that. But with college, of course, sex is everywhere. There's no shortage or sex or drugs on campus. I did become desensitized to certain shit. In regards to like seeing sex or like, and I hate to say it, like I seen the orgies happen way more than I should have. And to the point where you'd walk in, see it, and be like, "Oh, okay." I mean, my bad, looking for the restroom, and that's not normal. And if that was the norm for me while I was in college, and seeing kids discuss stuff like that, and they're not even in college now, it does make me nervous as far as what the future holds, especially what you're saying. If they're being desensitized to it now, what comes after their generation?
Yeah. And I feel like it's going to be a spectrum, because there was another person on that podcast. It was like a gigantic like phone chat type of podcast for people who are paying attention. But there was like an 18-year-old. He knows he was desensitized, but he just looked at it as, well, it is what it is. If anything, I'm not as sexual because I see it all the time. So I was just like, maybe it will just be a spectrum of that. Like there'll be a person who sees it all the time, but they can handle themselves. And then there's going to be the hypersexual young people who feel the need to have sex as soon as possible and not really understand how serious having sex is. And I just feel like I wish people valued that more. Because I feel like the moment you lay down with that first person, that sets your perception of what sex is.
I agree. And it can create a trauma that lasts with you forever if you're not treated, given whatever your experience may be. And another topic that was brought up while they were speaking about this, because you're right, it did seem like you ever been in Clubhouse?
I have not, mainly because I didn't have a use for it, but I understood the concept. It sounded and looked like a gigantic phone line. Just you're seeing people's faces.
Right. So that's the vibe I got from it, which I thought was really cool. But someone had made a point of bringing up the show Euphoria.
Yeah.
And how that's a little extreme, but I feel like it's extreme, but it's in the form of a parody to show you how bad things can get. I don't think there are high schoolers having a party where everybody's doing pills and doing coke in the bathroom. I don't think it's quite there.
No, I think that is in certain states and
really
areas. Yeah, if you hang out with the quote unquote right people, you gonna have that type of party.
Man,
because I feel like where the city I'm from, Palm Bay, it probably wasn't looking as cool and I guess extravagant as the kids are using somebody's parents' house to do all that. But I feel like if you can definitely access drugs with high schoolers, you can definitely have sex in the middle of the field drinking. Because I knew people when I was in high school, they were just like, "Oh, just sneak out." I was like, "Well, first of all, my parent gives a shit about me. So that's a no. Second of all of a sudden, my mom has sonic hearing at night, so I am not playing those games. Thirdly, I have a security system. Whenever I even open a door, there will be a sound. So same thing with the window. So even if I was about that life, again, my mother will come after me, and well, she'll either come after me or just let me know that don't even come home, because if you feel like you've grown enough to leave, don't even come back to the house. That was what I was raised with. But yeah, I feel like kids be doing that now. Child, I used to be cool friends. I had a huge crush on this guy. I was so stupid. Well, stupid to think that he was like cute in a way. It never went far or whatever, but he straight up was doing cocaine. And there was one moment that you could tell that he was on that shit, and he would never eat because he would be on that shit. And that's just like, your parents don't notice this, and how do you even get money to have these drugs? And he was like, oh, I just sell my stuff in my room. Your parents don't notice your room is empty? Like these are the things I was thinking about back then. So yeah, I absolutely think it might not be to the extent of what Euphoria makes it look like, but I feel like high schoolers definitely do that shit. They be selling drugs, having sex, drinking in the middle of the fucking field, probably doing whatever in the field in the middle of the night when they damn sure be at home. So
damn.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I guess it's just for me. I just never surrounded myself with that type of stuff. Now weed and shit, you know, I really didn't see pills and stuff until I got to college, and even then I was like, don't look like some shit I'd be on. You know, I think the worst I've ever did. Well, the worst thing I ever did was weed. And at this point, weed is like aspirin.
I feel like one time in my life, one good time, I do want to have ecstasy, but I want to do that with my man whenever we get together on that. You know, but that is probably as hard as I'm gonna get.
No lie, I hear you on the ecstasy. I'm afraid because I watched the Bad Boys, and that dude who OD'd in the Bad Boys movie fucked me up. But I do want to try a shroom, not shrooms. I want to try a shroom. I want to go on one trip. That's all.
That is true. I low-key want to do that too, but I'm a little nervous about that. I ain't gonna lie. Again, I need to be with someone doing that. I can't be doing that by myself.
I need somebody like who is not gonna be high, who could just keep me like calm. Cause
yes, keep me grounded. I'm still on Earth, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm really concerned about regarding that. But that was a cool little documentary that I watched. Is Enjoy Your Trip. It's on Netflix. It's about people who did shrooms, went on a trip, and what their experience was like. And it's a lot of celebrities on there who had some great stories, some funny stories, and some had some horror stories. So yeah, I think you should check it out if you're interested.
Okay, definitely be down for that. And I can't remember with the guy that I was talking about. I did say coke and not crack, right?
Yes, coke.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, he wasn't that crazy, but he was straight up taking coke in the bathroom type of shit.
God, I don't even know how I would react. I just thank God everybody respects me enough to never do that in front of me.
Because they never did it in front of me. I just know there was a plain difference between how you were yesterday to how you were the next time I saw you at lunch. And you was extra height, gigantic pupils, and you just chatting. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to do with this? Yeah.
Now, was this somebody you dated?
No. Honestly, I never had a class with him. We just randomly sat together in lunch, and we just all sat at the table, and I don't know how we got to the conversation, but he definitely said he'd be doing coke, and I'm just like, why?
Like, how do you get that comfortable to be like, yeah, I do the coke?
Oh yeah, I mean, most of them there was a fair range of diversity at my school, but most of them were definitely white. And when you hang out with the whites, they be doing a lot of weirdo shit. Yeah, it's just, I think that's a whole nother conversation in itself when it comes to parenting. Like, there'll be a lot of white parents that I be seeing that I feel like they just be having kids for the hell of it and having no interest of paying attention to them whatsoever. And that was the vibe that I was getting from him. Like, his parents didn't pay attention or care what he did as long as he went to school and back. Because it was the same kid. He was telling me he literally had like an F in pottery, like making pottery pots and shit. I was like, fam, you could have a better grade not showing up than you showing up in class and you got an F in pottery. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And he was like, oh, for real? I said, yes. Like, what are you doing?
How do you fail making a pot? It's like,
I don't know, dog. It's like, do you just straight up not, you must be just not doing it and just be taking space in class. Like, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, they just do a lot of, not just him, but a lot of them do a lot of weird stuff.
huh?
But I do love the show Euphoria. I haven't watched it yet because it can be a lot. So I'm trying not to like.
Okay.
Personally, I like binging shows, so I'm waiting for, I guess, a couple more episodes to drop. But it make it seem like at least these are the final episodes to drop right now. Because I saw earlier on, I think, my Facebook thing
feed.
Thank you. That they're already planning on making a third season, and I was like, well, is second season even over? Like,
Jesus Christ.
Now? But it's a really good show. Zendaya, she acts her ass off. One of my favorite characters, her name is Kat. She's like a plus size girl.
Yes, I love Kat.
I loved how she got into her gothic mistress type of vibes. And I just loved the part where she was having sex with this guy that was deemed to be like the super hot guy, and she told him in his face, I was like, your dick wasn't it. Or I think she said the guy's like, oh, did you come? And she was like, no. And she walked away. I was like, I live for Kat. And I just loved it too when she got with a guy and he was a skinnier guy and he was really digging her. And I think near the end, I don't know if you watched the show or not, it was the end of the first season, I guess, where he was like, I'll just make sure that I'm the one that gets hurt. So I'll make sure I get hurt and you never get hurt, or some shit like that. And I was like, oh my God, I want to be Kat and be with that boy so bad.
Man. Yeah, I've been, well, let me say this. I binged the first season right when it ended. So right now on the second season, I'm 2 episodes in, and I know 3 and 4 are out, but I'm gonna wait for 5 to come out this weekend so I can watch all 3.
Okay.
How far are you in the second season?
I haven't started at all.
Okay.
But you can go ahead.
Say nothing.
I was like, I mean, you can, because I'm still gonna watch it. But
did you watch the episodes? The 2 special episodes, the one for Rue and the one for Jules?
I actually have not either. I have not been on top of those things. I don't know. I've been weird about it because when people are trending shit, I purposely don't want to watch it.
Oh, you want them?
Like Squid Games and all that. And I'm like, I don't want to watch it because y'all are really overhyping this shit right now.
I usually wait years before I go and watch something like that. I did the same thing with Game of Thrones. I jumped on at season 3 and took like 2 weekends and watched seasons 1 and 2.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
I heard, well, not heard, because I know 2 out of my 3 sisters, they really love Game of Thrones, but they also said it was very violent. So the thought of me watching a whole season in one weekend, that's a lot. But I'm also the person that will watch slasher on Netflix. I can watch that within a weekend, and that shit can be very violent. So
I don't think I've heard of slasher.
Slasher, I think it's pronounced. I hope it's slasher. It's basically just figuring out who is the killer, and there'll be like this killer that be like killing people, and the deaths can be extremely graphic, where he's like literally torturing them and stuff. So I'm just like,
kind of like a Scream kind of vibe.
Yes, but more graphic and I guess more intriguing because you're trying to figure out who it is.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check this out. I like stuff like that. I like mysteries.
Yes, I think that's the only reason I'm still watching Riverdale.
Oh, I gave up on Riverdale after
A
like
lot of
season
people
2.
did, and I don't blame them. But the mystery gets me every single time. I'm just like, well, who is it? Now I have to watch, and I don't know. I understand because it's so unrealistic to the point that it's like it's really ridiculous. Like, what y'all trying to be a musical, a
Yeah.
fantasy, a murder mystery? Like, what is this? And that pisses me off every time they have like a musical. So I literally always skip that episode or whenever they start singing because it's just so unnecessary. But I don't know if that the show gets me every time. But that last season though, where they clearly what two of the main characters look like they passed, and there's absolutely no way they like outran that death. Somehow they're making a new season, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not going back to this. I am devoted to not go back to this
There
because
you
there's
go.
no way. Like, there's no way. That makes no sense. And what was worse about that last season, they were actually grown. So it made a little bit more sense of the adult shit that they were doing. Because I think earlier when one of the girls, they were in high school, but they somehow owned a speakeasy. Like, how does that work? How do you buy the bottles? Who's writing this shit off? Like,
Facts.
yeah, like shit like that. But I was like, even after they made sure the characters were grown in their mid-20s, it was still unrealistic. I was like, this is extremely disappointing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Whatever.
Um,
Yeah, off of that tangent.
I'm holding off on finishing Ozark. Have you ever checked that out?
I was terrible. I stopped at episode 3, and I was told episode 4 is when they're gonna pop off.
Yeah, come
So
on.
yeah, I don't know, man. I've been working so damn much that I can't be committed to shows where I actually have to give my full undivided attention. Because I was that same way with Mindhunter. I really enjoyed that show, but
Oh,
what that second season was so slow,
yeah.
and I was
I
so
couldn't finish it
slow and
either.
like quiet too. So I really had to pay attention. I'm like, look, I really cannot right now. As much as I really enjoy that show, this is
Yeah,
too
that
much.
first season was amazing.
Yeah, I
Amazing.
loved the first season. I think Keen recommended that show to me. I don't remember, but yeah, I loved the first season. That was lit.
Cool. You watching any of the Power series or anything like that?
I watched all of Power. I
Okay.
started watching a little bit of book 2 or after
Mm.
the fact. What's funny, I was watching that on the plane. I don't know where I was going. I wish I remembered where I was going. But I watched the first 4 episodes on the plane because that's all they had. I really wish I knew where I was going because it had to be a long flight in order for me to watch it. I was going to Alaska. That's what happened.
Oh wow.
And they had all the first 4 episodes of book 2. But I haven't got back up to it because I still hate Tariq. So it's like the thought of me trying to finish this, I don't know. But I think someone said if a woman stood up to Method Man, you would fold. And they had this little jiffy where it had origami folding, and I was like, you know
Mm,
what? After that
that's
sex
good.
scene, I absolutely would fold as well. Because
I'm
I never noticed
hey.
how tall he was until he was on the show. I said, oh, and Mary J. Blige, she
Did you lick your
too.
lip?
I was like, damn.
Did you lick your lips when you
Maybe it could have been. Mouth might be salva, a little saliva.
Nah, he does an amazing job. I'm not even gonna lie. He's
Yeah.
part of the reason I stay into it so much.
Wow.
Him and Mary J. Blige kill it. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Absolutely serious OGs right there.
Still think Tariq is a bitch as well, but he's a clever little bitch. So I'm always interested in how he's gonna outmaneuver everybody, and he does. Raising Canaan is really good.
Okay.
Has a
Is
really
that like a
great.
spinoff?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Canaan. It's Canaan's story when he was growing up.
Okay.
And it's based in like the 80s, the cocaine 80s. And whoa, it's honestly, I like it better than book 2.
Damn. Okay. I think the thing also is because my sister at the time no one was paying for the Star subscription, which is also why I wasn't watching it. But my sister started paying for that subscription. I'm not sure if she's still paying for it. I need to check, but that's another thing. I have so many damn subscription apps on my phone. It's like, look, I only have so much room for this shit. Like,
who you telling?
You know, it's like I already have HBO Max, Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, Funimation. I'm pretty sure there's one more, but that's a lot of apps and room and all of that. It's just like, good grief. And that's the thing too. I haven't watched the last season of Attack on Titan yet, and I really need to. But
I'm still trying to get through season 1. I don't know what it is. It's really
you getting
hard for
on
me.
me?
It's so hard for me, and this action is just. I don't know. And I ain't gonna lie, some of those Titans do freak me the fuck out.
No, I understand. My older sister was the same way. That's half the reason why she wasn't watching it when we first started watching it. And she's watching it now, but she definitely watches it during the daytime.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I understand that. Watching that shit at night and then you see them,
the big
that's the last thing
smiling
you saw
motherfuckers.
and it seeps in your subconscious.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
But that show is really good.
And everybody's talking about it. I don't know. I'm going back and watching some of my older animes because some of the new ones kind of feel like they're the same show.
Probably.
Like I really like Demon Slayer, but after a while it just feels like Naruto with swords.
Oh, and the thing is, I never liked Naruto.
See what I'm saying?
But my baby sister loved Naruto, and all four of us love Demon Slayer. So,
and it just gives me a sense of I've seen this archetype before, you know. I did like Baki because it's violent. What if I watched Kakegurui, the gambling anime is really good.
Okay, never heard of that either, but it seems interesting.
It's on Netflix.
You rewatching Death Note, or have you watched that?
One of my
I feel
OG
like you're not
favorites.
a real anime head if you never watched Death Note.
Yeah,
like,
you can't say you like anime if you didn't finish Death Note.
Correct.
You know, if you don't know the gravity of someone eating potato chips and killing people at the same time, don't talk to me.
Oh my gosh, that's the one anime I would rewatch time and time again. Like, not all the time, but every once in a while, I'm like, I'm going to sit down and watch Death Note again because it was that good from beginning to end. Everything. What else? Damn, there was another. Well, that, and I get in my really nerdy ways, and I rewatch the Avatar, The Last Airbender, and I still watch Legend of Korra. And the older I get, the more the older I get, the more I like Legend of Korra a little bit more than The Last Airbender. And I guess that's an unpopular opinion, but
I fully agree. Okay. I think we got a more diverse character in Korra than we got in Aang.
Yes, but I feel like I was too young to understand Korra when it first came out, which that kind of sucked. But now that I'm older, I was like, man, she was just going through PTSD, man. We didn't know,
That's it. We was not there for her. That's what it was. We wanted her to be somebody she wasn't. And yeah.
So that's another anime, if you call it that.
I let it slide.
I watch every once in a while too.
I think my top favorite though probably goes to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
My two younger sisters, they love that show. I didn't finish it, or at least stay there long enough to watch at least the majority of it.
Yeah, it was one of those that it's long as shit, like the entire
super long.
But I enjoy. I got so invested in every single character that yeah.
Okay, I might try it again now that I'm older.
Go for it. Yes, do it. and then you can feel bad when the little girl gets turned into a chimera with her dog. You know, you can think about that.
Probably, and I probably will too. But we definitely went down a huge rabbit hole to the
We
point
did.
that I don't even know what was our last question. But when you said you liked violence, I feel like that's another desensitization situation there. Because there's a lot of shows now that kind of has to be violent in order for people to be interested.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that's like another agenda being unfolded, because I think that was another thing a person was saying in that podcast, where no other genre of music talks about killing other people besides rap,
I agree.
and it's usually talking about killing black people or killing your just killing black people. And I was just like, you know what, that is correct. And me and my boss slash friend, we were talking about that, and she was like, I don't even listen to rap anymore because it is a hidden agenda for people to think about violence and think about killing black people or killing people in general, and they're gearing it towards black people on purpose in a way to try to get rid of us. So and it makes me angry too. Like, they were also saying on the podcast as well, it's like, don't listen to rap music or like really hard serious music when you're going to sleep, because that does seep into your subconscious, and that does eventually become like your energy. And I believe that. um yeah, and I feel like I listen to rap, but not as much anymore after we had that discussion.
Yeah, I definitely found myself going back to like a more varied approach as far as my music goes. Especially when I get off work, when I'm trying to like decompress, I'll either listen to a podcast or I listen to like more orchestral or um lo-fi music. I swear to God, lo-fi has become like my top thing to listen to when I'm just chilling at home.
So
A
what
good
is lo-fi? Is that like study music?
Yes,
Okay, I
yes.
was thinking that because that's also what I've been getting to, especially if I'm on a long car ride and I'm getting sick of like my super poppy music. I just listen
Hmm.
to study lo-fi
Yeah.
turn music.
It's just a great way, and sometimes they'll have sample of words, but it's just I put it like this: it's something you'd hear while you're trying to buy a book or something, and
Yeah.
it allows me to think and just be clear of any kind of negative thoughts, especially with somebody who deals with anxiety to the magnitude that I do. It
Hmm.
keeps me grounded, you know,
Okay.
and hopefully more people find it that may go through something like I do.
Yeah, I
Um,
hope so too, because I enjoy listening to music when I was in college and studying, or I usually listen to that type of music when I was in art class, and that's usually
mm,
like the background of it. And art classes in college anyway definitely lasts for a good 3 hours, 2.5. So
that's the longest time.
it's long, but you kind of need it if you're trying to finish out an assignment. And if you're new to drawing, you kind of need those 2.5, 3 hours. For people who are talented, you probably need a lot less time,
Ooh.
especially if you are talented and you believe in finishing your assignments, because there's a lot of artists. They do have that vibe of they really go with the flow and they don't know what assignment means. They don't know what math means. They're just really here to just create their own world on a piece of paper.
I understand that. A lot of times when I'm painting, I literally don't have anything in mind, and then boom, something hits, and I just slather what I can on the canvas and hang it up.
That's
That's
good.
so good way of I guess recharging my battery. I was talking with someone the other day. It's like the thing about like crafts and art and whatever you may be passionate about, it like recharges that battery to of you doing your daily duties, whether it be work or whatever you need to do to navigate. Doing those type of activities of painting recharges that battery, and so when you're drained there, you want to do that passion more. Because I
Hmm.
was talking to somebody who just didn't, they just been working so much but didn't find the energy to do what they normally love to,
Hmm.
and I think they needed to kind of refocus on themselves, and then they'll find things falling back in alignment. But that's just me. I don't know.
No, that totally makes sense. I was talking to someone earlier today, and they were basically saying that same thing. Like, you're doing a lot of movement. At least I'm doing a lot of movement because I work like 2 jobs like a crazy person. And I'm moving so much that there's no time to myself and actually think about, like, I'm moving so much that I'm not even like considering what's happening for me. I'm just dealing with what's happening in front of me. And earlier today I was just like, I'm really overserving myself, and right now I don't see the benefit of that. And um I can't even get to what I want to do, which is concentrate on my businesses more, draw more, because I really do want to start selling my artwork and making serious profit out of it. And I see a lot of people out here, at least on YouTube and Pinterest and whatever, and people don't even draw, and they're making decent money off of art now. So I was just like, well, I can draw whenever I sit down and actually not beat myself up when I'm drawing. So it's just like there's no reason for me to not get into my gig. But I'm just moving so much that I can't even like process all the things that I really want to do, along with all the adult shit that I want to do. Because for the longest time, I need to change my damn bank information. Like, I want to switch over to a different bank, and I have yet to sit down and do it. And since I work a lot, it's hard for me to even go to the bank to get shit done. So it's just like, I hate that that's becoming a norm just to survive. Yeah, and I'm just trying to figure out a way to get back into my art to decompress, so that way I can gain more clarity on what I need to do to get to where I need to be, because this year got to be different. I was telling the lady that I was talking to earlier, I was just like, look, because I was doing a Reiki reading, which to me was just like an energy reading.
Yeah, Reiki.
Yeah. And one of my cards, they were saying that I was stagnant. And I'm like, you are correct. I definitely have been. And I was like, look, I'm stagnant to the point that I've almost been in Tallahassee for 10 years. And that was the thing that I did not want to do while I was in college. And I turned out to be that exact thing. So I was just like, yeah, I need to get out of here before that 10-year mark, because that is absolutely nuts. So yeah.
Well, I hope you set out time for yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a thing tomorrow, and definitely Sunday. I'm just going to work on all the shit that needs to be done. Oh, that's another thing. The other adult thing, I haven't even done my damn taxes and actually know what I'm doing with my taxes. I just haven't sat down and done it because it's just so much is happening.
I can't even talk shit. I haven't done mine either. So,
but I'm assuming you don't even do yours. You just give it to somebody to have it done.
I just go to irs.gov and just
you just fill that shit out.
And
yeah, I haven't even done that.
But just let them tell me how much I own.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I'm so sick. It almost makes me want to have a kid. It just almost
right there, just this close.
Just like, damn.
Ridiculous.
You hear all these people talking about, yeah, I can't wait for my taxes to come back, and here I am. I'm like, must be nice, my boy. Trying to get like you.
But the one thing to think about, the way to think about it is, that's to me, for some people, that's the only thing they look forward to when it comes to having kids.
That's true.
It's like, and that few extra $1,000 a year is the only thing that makes you happy. Having your kiddos, that's kind of sad, but that is my opinion, and I'm sticking by that shit.
Yeah, I don't like kids like that right now. Not in this phase of my life.
No, you are correct. I'm like, I love being able to wake up in silence.
Oh, isn't it nice?
Yeah,
I swear to God.
Worrying about what's happening in the silence, because when kids are silent, they're doing shit they're not supposed to be doing. And I saw that today with one of my friends who has a child. She was like, I was like, I went over here because it got too quiet. And of course, there's a kid climbing up on a high chair to get on top of the table or kitchen island to touch the light bulb. I'm just like,
oh God.
Like, who got time for this? Like, you really think that's, I don't know. I just feel like, it feels like an actual insult when people say, oh, you'll be a great mom, or are you going to have kids? Why the fuck would I do that? I can barely take care of myself. And I'm not even fulfilling what I need to fulfill during my selfish years. So the actual thought of me having a kid right now is like asking me to be irresponsible, dumb, just to fulfill a societal pressure that society is not going to help me deal with.
Isn't that shit crazy though? Like, everybody forces you to have a kid, but when you have the kid, they're like, all right.
The most they'll do is they'll FaceTime me when they want to see the child.
Yes, and that's funny to me.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I saw a little I guess TikTok on that where they're like, they had to FaceTime, be like, hey girl, how's it go? Let me see the baby. Like, oh damn, like, here you go.
The
hey,
accuracy.
Baby. The baby not even talking back and not even understanding what is in front of their faces. So,
that's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Man, JR, that was really it. I ain't really have much to talk about. We got all the way off subject, and that's fine with me.
I mean, we kind of went back around to it. It wasn't like a solution podcast, but hopefully people can come up with their own solutions on how to deal with this moving forward. Because I feel like it is going to be a norm, but like we were also saying too, I feel like history is going to repeat themselves when we're going to appreciate, I guess, more intentional, more positive music again, where it doesn't have to talk about your privates. Because I feel like with 2020, history repeated itself in a way where people started to become more intentional with their coin. So I feel like soon people are just going to be more intentional with what they consume. So who knows?
Yeah. And we also have to keep in mind to be more intentional with what we speak as well. Reciting these things, especially in regards to myself. Like this last year, I had kind of made it a point to stop doubting myself. I found myself like speaking negativity, like almost as a defense mechanism, so I wouldn't get disappointed if I failed.
Yeah.
You know, so naturally I was setting myself up for failure from the get-go, just so I wouldn't disappoint myself. It was kind of like, hey, I'm gonna say it was kind of cowardly of me. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say it's cowardly. It's just, unfortunately, that's also a norm too. And I feel like our jobs kind of do that, and how society raised us in a way. Because if we don't have a great grade, if we don't have a great review from our higher superior, whatever, we're doubting ourselves and we're kind of dumbing ourselves in order to be validated. So we kind of have to prepare ourselves if we do fail, or if we are not living up to our own expectations to get to our goals. So if we don't make it to our goal, we're trying to prepare ourselves to deal with the failure. But at least that what I've been taught by my mentors is just like, you kind of have to embrace failure in order for you to get success. And it's not even about mentors. There's a lot of people out here like Beyonce, Jay-Z, all the greats, they all experienced some serious failure. And they were back in the day where they had to sell like mixtapes and shit and go to a lot of variety shows in order for them to get the uprising. So of course they had to deal with failure, and I feel like there's no room for doubt in order for you to get towards success. And a lot of people are I feel like a lot of people after 2020 are realizing that now. Definitely easier said than done, because I definitely go through that too. Even though I keep telling myself this is the year that whatever I do, it's going to be successful. But there's always a twinge of doubt in the back of my mind. Like, is it going to happen by the date that I want it to happen? Is it going to happen for me? Is it going to happen, period? Because I'm nervous.
Right.
Because I guess the nervousness of it is like, at least with my goals, there's no fall safe. Either you gonna do this or you're not. And and the last thing I want is to fail in a way that I wouldn't say dramatic as homeless, but I do want to move out of this house that I'm renting by May 31st. And I have to tell my landlord, like, I believe 3 months in advance. So what if I'm not fully there by May 31st financially? I'm going to freak the fuck out. But I'm trying to tell myself it's gonna be fine. Whatever you put out here, it's gonna happen. So yeah, that's just a normal thing that a lot of people have to go through to make negative into positive.
You're right. Interesting thing you were talking about change and relocation. I'm currently clearing my credit because I want to purchase a house next year.
Okay.
And I am down to the final 2 items.
Yay.
Yeah. um so yesterday I made a phone call because I had the damnedest time like finding a phone number to this one debt collector. So I finally got them, and they was able to reduce their amount. I could pay whatever. And I for a moment, you ever have those moments where you're about to do something big and like time freezes for a second and you're thinking like, damn, this is about to happen. I'm actually doing this.
I felt
That
that way
happened.
when I graduated for college. I was like, this is the longest 5 years in the waiting, in the making, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
But continue.
So, she was talking to me and telling me the amount, and I was confirming my card details so she could pay it over the phone. And I just sat there. She asked for I remember she asked for the expiration date, and I was just sitting there just like in thought. And she like, "Sir, are you there, sir?" And I was like, oh, yeah, my bad. And I just broke down and told her, like, yo, I'm trying to get this off my credit because I want to buy a house, and this is one of the last few items I got. And she was like, man, I'm with you. I'm trying to do the same. Like, just that moment of someone being human with me, you know what I'm saying, made me feel good. But
that's good. Well, I'm glad it's working out for you, fam.
Man, look here. I'm nervous as the shit. Do you hear me?
Are you nervous because after everything's cleared out, you're like, are you nervous about the move, or are you just nervous that it's not going to work out even after everything's cleared out with your credit?
That's a good question. So I'm not worried about everything being cleared out. I'm going to get the house. I know I am, because I'm not giving myself a choice.
Right.
The thing I'm worried about is what comes along with the role of homeowner. You know what I'm saying? Repairs, high ass power bills, you know, stuff like that. New neighborhoods, security, you know, like all of that I take into account. You know, yes, I'm asking for this graduation of life event, but I also, when I say fear, I mean in a sense of respect. I fear what comes along with it. You know, like
I get you.
I take it all in. So that's where I'm at. I'm like meditating on that, getting my mind right. So when something big does happen, and God forbid, like I'm like, damn, I got to get my fence repaired, I can be like, you know, this is what I took on. You know, I don't have a whole panic attack. So.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand that. Hopefully the estimators and whatever you call those people that actually check out the house, truly check out the house before you buy it. And hopefully there's no situations. But either way, like we said, whatever happens this year, it's going to be our year, and whatever happens, it's going to work out in the end.
There it is. JR, if anybody wanted to follow you on like Instagram and see some of your glorious work, you fucking artiste, where could they see you? Where could they stalk you?
They can stalk me on my Instagram. I honestly have not been posting much, mainly because I've been trying to figure out where to post my stuff. Like, I'm like, should I have Etsy, or should I just start my own Shopify website and just do that? So I've been trying to figure out that as well, which is also the overwhelming part of being an adult / business owner. But y'all can just follow my regular Instagram for right now. So once y'all do, I just post the link of my art website, wherever it's going to be. My Instagram handle is J_RIOOO. So 3 O's. And you should be able to find me. I haven't posted much. My last post was an art piece that I was definitely wine drunk drawing.
Oh snap! I got to go check it now.
Yeah. To me, it wasn't that great, but a lot of people liked it, and I feel like a lot of people like it because they haven't seen me draw anything in a while. But I do want to get back into creating portraits for cash again. I stopped doing that because there were a lot of assholes, really, and plus I was young too, and I wanted to seek validation again by drawing them portraits, but they end up not paying, and I was just like,
fuck that.
Yeah, and that was when I was like, you know what, maybe I really shouldn't be doing this shit for money or for anything. Just draw because I want to. So I would like to get back to that point where I'm drawing a portrait and people pay the amount that I say to pay before I do anything.
Hey, I'm speaking that for you, cuz you got that shit. As
Thank
somebody
you.
who looks at your shit, I know you may feel like whatever you do may not be up to your par, but goddamn it, you be killing that shit to me though, cuz I didn't mean. I guess I'm a natural cheerleader in this motherfucker.
Thank you.
All right.
That's where you can find me, Instagram.
Did you want to talk about your business? You was talking about you being a business owner. I'm like, wait a minute. What you got there?
I would, but we have been here for an hour, so we can talk on another podcast and we can talk all about that, fam.
That is. I understand, cuz. All right. That being said, this has been your boy, Sir, and we is out.
Bye,
Eat
y'all.
the vegetables.
Hey, this is Mystique.
This is Mr. Everlasting.
And this is the Safe Word.
Safe Word. Y'all make sure y'all join us every first and third Friday of the month. Every month. We are in season 3.
Season 3.
Y'all already know what it is, man. Tap in.